Howard, it's great to be back.
It's good to be back, Jake. Was a lovely summer. What about yours?
Yeah, it was great. But you know what I really missed of all the things I missed in summer? It was those that heart to heart that we get to have on Zoom, on
It's
Teams.
true.
We really
It's
get
true.
to see old friends and we have that really bonding. It's enough of the
Yeah,
face to face. I want to go back to the good old days of digital relationships. I'm not good at face to face.
yeah. It was fun to look back at the old clips. I don't know if our audience saw. I was reviewing old episodes and posting some of the old clips, and it was interesting to look back at the discussions that we had. We kind of really did like deep dives into a lot of different topics. But one of the topics that kept coming up in almost all of our conversations was AI. Um, so I thought that was just interesting. Just
Is that like
and then
a
all
Captain
summer,
AI type of that? That's like a new AI. Was that what the
yeah.
kids were talking about? Like chip,
And then all summer break, I was thinking about how can I use AI to do better? Always build apps. I had a friend come from America, and the whole Friday night dinner was about let's build this app, let's do this idea, and we just went ahead whenever we were able to do and just
not on Shabbat. Don't tell me on Shabbat.
not on.
You're gonna kill me.
I don't vibe code on Shabbat.
Oh my gosh, you have me scared. Listen, I want to tell you that this is all these things are coming back to, firstly, we're going to bring back, you're saying we should do a best of series because we've got so many greatest hits. It's time to release a really release of the best of. But I don't think it would be complete unless we introduce the captain of freight, the freedom fighter for freight, the one who knows everything about cubic meterage and shipping lines. There's a guy who knows more about this than anyone, and I think he's not getting enough mic time. So, is it okay if I introduce my friend, who's
Go
like,
ahead, introduce our guest who's been waiting patiently in the wings.
well, not so patiently, he's nudging me under the table, but Eytan Buchman,
I'm
he
catching up on
doesn't like
emails,
me.
guys.
He doesn't like when they call him Buchman or Butchman or Butchman. So, Eytan in the house, ladies
Uh,
and gentlemen.
Eitan, welcome.
That's
Thanks so much, guys. Really
round
pumped to
one,
be here.
Eytan. What is going on?
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, guys. This is fun. I'm looking forward to this.
Ethan, is it true that
Likewise.
you are Mr. AI when it comes to freight? Is that the right way of putting you into this? Like you do AI, you do marketing, you do AI for your kids.
So, so I work really hard. I mean, on the freight side, I work really hard not to be Mr. Freight, right? I think, by the way, I think this is like a very, very typical B2B like marketing thing where how
Oh,
much
it's
are
a good
you a
question.
marketer
Yeah,
versus how much are you like a subject domain expert?
Uh-huh.
And it's really hard to separate that, right? It's really because like you need to get in front of your target audience unless you're tapping somebody else in the org. Um, so yeah, I try very hard to be I'm a marketer first and freight second.
Yeah,
Uh, but I do happen to like freight a lot, which feels
right.
weird.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, your
you don't like
online
when
presence, you do really have, you do really come front and center in both worlds, right? We see you speak about marketing and you speak about freight. Again, I'm not
Which is such like an epic like no, right? You're not like you're supposed to find your target market and like speak to them. And it's like I
the
feel like I'm
marketers.
talking to some. It's
Yeah,
hard. It's really hard.
the marketers who have the easiest time, I guess, are marketers and marketing leadership that sells marketing software.
By the way, also, I think that's why there's all these orgs that are out there that get so much kind of positive encouragement about what their
Yeah.
marketing looks like. I mean, just like, take Gong, for example,
Oh
who
yeah,
I think are great, but their marketing is going after those sales and marketing people. And it creates this like echo chamber where everybody else kind of
for
just like
sure.
falls off the
Yeah.
planet, right? Because like you end up diluting your brand equity across a lot of different types of customers.
but you don't want
I
to be
think
labeled as Mr. Freight. You actually have a lot of other skills. Like I think your friends would only want to talk to you about shipping rates. Is that right? Like you talk about other things.
My friends. No, my friends have learned to like stay away from freight for a long time.
Yeah.
I think the peak of my subject domain expertise was I had a full like half page in the New York Times business edition with like the title like the freight nerds, who are like talking about the pandemic and like a giant picture of me. I was like, being called
That
a freight
hurts.
nerd by the New York Times. It's like
No,
that's what I dreamed of when I was four.
that would
do you
be
get
so
called?
good in
Have
your
you
dating.
ever?
That's great dating profile stuff, but that's not nowadays. You got other skills that are more marketable, right?
No, I mean, I think I caught the AI bug like a year ago, a year and a half ago, and have just been like all in on it. I'm simultaneously, I guess, depending on what day you catch me, either deeply depressed by it or very, very excited by
Oh,
it.
same. I'm so much the same way. I think about it. I use it all day, and then like I said, you think about it both ups and downs because then you you read like the promise of AI, and then you see read an article where it's like people are going to be unemployed. A lot of people. Uh,
100%.
yeah,
Okay,
But
so
also
let's
the creative component. I think like I mean
yeah.
you guys have like produced a ton of content, and I did this. I think already like this was probably when 3 point like Sonnet 3.5 came out. But I took all like my blog posts that I wrote and I threw it at Sonnet, and I got it to create like a tone and voice like style guide for me. I think we've all probably done that in the past. And then I just took that and I threw whatever, the Declaration of Independence at it, and a bunch of different, a bunch of like different like normal texts, and you realize how much of what you think is so uniquely you can just be turned into a vector file and duplicated. And it's not perfect, but you're still talking like 70, 80, 85% there of really mimicking your style. And that's scary,
do you
really
have a
scary.
secret code with your wife to let her know that it's really you?
I
No?
had a secret code, I wouldn't use it. No, I mean that's like no, I want to use like I don't know, like if I need to automate my WhatsApp messages,
Okay, so let's
why
get
would
it.
I?
Let's talk about marketing. Let's talk a little bit of AI marketing because there's this battle. Everyone's in the hype cycle, but then there's a reality chunk here. So let's talk about like obviously we're into the text creation, we're into the image creation, we're even into the video creation. Tell me about the new frontier. You like to push it, and where are you seeing the biggest values within the marketing team that you're building? Where is it that you've gone that no one else or most other people haven't gone?
Yeah, so I think I think it would a lot of hubris for me to like say like I'm doing stuff that people aren't doing. But I'll say the areas that I'm most excited about and that I think are really the most interesting. What I think is the two motions that I think are most important that most companies aren't doing enough is a workflow automation, but understanding the limits of AI, which means I actually think, interestingly enough, it means going back to like Integromat or Make or Zapier or whatever it is, and figuring out how do I playbook enough of the stuff that I'm doing while using AI as one of those steps, whether it's for categorization or for creation, for content personalization. Making it part of an automated workflow is something that I think every single person should have their own little prompts about like, hey, rewrite this email in my voice, or
Mhm.
provide, I don't know, give me feedback on this landing page. And everybody builds up those motions. So, like, for example, right now, my go-to for when I build a new landing page or website, or if I'm trying to find it, I took two webinars I found the best website builders that I know out there. I think people have probably come across like Fletch PMM on LinkedIn. Really, really good. I love their style. I attended two webinars of theirs, transcribed those, used it to create style guides and instructions, built my own prompt around it. And that's what I use when I need to build a new landing page. That's like my go-to is just throw it at that. But that is very short-sighted to stop there. What you want to do is you want to build that into a regular workflow that you're able to use. So you want to, for example, have something like Zapier where you can throw a website into a type form field or into a Google form field, and it gives you the feedback and maybe even takes that feedback and automatically updates the landing page or something. But build those into cycles so that you're not stuck copying and pasting and copying and pasting, and slowly, progressively build longer and longer and longer setups and these daisy chain different zaps that all work together, but you start actually automating more parts of the job while having the right feedback cycles. So
Yeah.
that's like one entire area that I feel like people sleep on way too much. The second part is trying to figure out where are there areas where you can now branch out into dramatically new stuff, new motions that you were never able to do. So like a huge part of my inbound playbook over the past decade has been spin out small little tools, right? Content marketing is not just about writing content or video. It's like what are interactive tools that you can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So I started playing with Cursor very, very soon after it came out. And I've been shipping apps like myself. I literally myself built features into our live production products that are live like on our actual like applications, but starting to build out these little tools or toys, and sometimes using very very strange tools for that. So one of the things I think people sleep on way too much is if you're on whether you're on the Microsoft ecosystem like 365, or if you're on Google Suite, using app scripts, you can build entire applications or entire marketing playbooks by getting ChatGPT or Anthropic to write code in Google App Scripts. to pull in APIs and mush things together, create documents, create decks, create emails. You could do anything by yourself as long as you understand how to use those tools together.
You've
So,
got to
like,
be,
just
give
as an
me a
example,
use
yeah,
case. It sounds really
I'm exactly
exciting.
what it's getting into. Exactly. You can using only an API for OpenAI and Google App Scripts. You can set it up that every time your company answers to an RFP, you put it into a specific file inside of your Google Drive, and then when you get another RFP from a company,
Yeah.
right, or like long tender proposal, you put all of the questions in one column. You click a button in Google Sheets, and it'll automatically use AI to query all of the RFPs you've ever done, find the most similar answers that you have, aggregate it, and provide a proposed answer. And I built an entire POC together with somebody on our sales team for that in 45 minutes.
That is
And like
incredible.
Yeah.
it's crazy because we look at AI and AI is so much deeper than just that stupid blinking cursor that we all go into when you go into ChatGPT or an Anthropic. Finding out the different tools that let you activate AI in different places, everyone's sleeping on that. Everybody is sleeping on it.
Beautiful.
I was just on that. I agree with that. I think you hit on a few things. One, a lot of marketers know automation work like, and how to build automation, think about what they want to do. And the idea is that you have to take the AI one to help you build that and ideate on what you kind of want to do. Like you said, new playbooks or new ways, new use cases or ways to help like the RFP solution, or even check your existing workflow and add in the OpenAI API like in Zapier. So many people don't realize that actually exists. It's in, and for people that live those systems already, whether you're again the simplest tool, I'll just keep using Zapier. You already know it. You've already built hundreds of workflows for all sorts of campaigns and fun marketing stuff. Just add in that extra layer.
So who's this? I mean, we've seen how AI was quickly replacing the boring content low-end writer. Then we saw basic design. Then we're starting to see how video creation. And then what is this? Are you saying that we're doing RevOps? Are we doing web dev? What is this new role that marketers have to take
So,
on, that they're using
oh,
AI to replace or to
yeah,
do
that's
new?
interesting. Is it a different
yeah,
role? I don't know. I don't think it's taking over a new role. I think that it's creating right yet. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will, and I think that there's a lot of people that are in a lot of trouble right now. I include myself in that category. Like you, we are all going to need a fight to justify our role every single day. And I think that's really scary. But at the same time, I think it's creating new opportunities. So let's take, one thing you mentioned is web dev, right? So I have definitely, we have a developer that works on our website, but I have definitely working with other people on our team. We've come up with these tiny little apps that I've used Cursor to build that we put on our WordPress website. So like one of the things we have a very, very complex structure of how we allocate leads and who should be speaking to the right person. And we decided, hey, instead of waiting for somebody to sign up,
Yeah.
register or sign up for a demo, whatever it is, raise their hand, and then allocate them in their CRM. Let's let people that come to our website find the right person based off of all these allocation rules. So we have in our contact us page, we built a small little app that is fed by a spreadsheet that lives in Google Drive that somebody can put in the type of their company and the specific solutions that they're looking for, and it'll provide the right person with their picture and their email and their phone number for them to reach out directly. And that's a traditionally that would be web dev, and you'd also be talking about like a sales ops person working together with them, and that
Mhm.
you could just bang out yourself. Like another example,
wait,
email marketing. No, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna just on that because you described something that there's SaaS solutions that do that, like Chili Piper or Bookers,
Yeah,
like
but
they.
I think that those companies are screwed. I think every
Yeah,
time I
that's a
look at
big
one of
problem.
these and I try to figure out like how much I think SaaS in general, the bar for it, if you have something that does not need to be 100% bulletproof and you're okay swallowing a little bit of bugginess right now, you just build that yourself once you know how to do it and once you have the muscle. But another example, I mean, Jake, you asked who else it's replacing. Email marketing, personalization at scale. We, at a certain point, we took our internal APIs that we have for our product. We pulled the data into Google Sheets, and now we start to personalize email based off of specific freight trade lanes that people have looked at. So now you get like personalized emails that are personalized at a scale that we never would have done before. I don't
Right.
think that's taking a role. I think it's augmenting roles,
Sure.
and it won't be so long until it does take roles as well.
But
Sure.
it's also
Personally,
better
I feel
marketing.
empowered. I have to say that I feel so much more empowered. I used to have to wait for design, wait for someone offshore to write something. Like by the time I brief it, it's done. It's like just think about the stupid writing. I briefed feedback. Oh, I misbriefed. You didn't understand. It's the cycle times are incredible. So I'm excited about this. Sounds to me though, because you are naturally a bit more techie. And Howard, that goes for you too. I don't want to call names, but you both are techie. Is there a role for someone who doesn't want to take AI in the back? They want to take AI in the front. Let's describe how we are using all this new fancy technology and being more creative and really cutting through. I mean, first,
I'll just add, you said creative. I'll just add one more word, strategic. I think
okay.
there's so many things that you can do with AI that you might lose sight
Give me a
as
story.
of what it is.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the world of freight, how all of a sudden, okay, I like the stats, and we all know about the stat stories that you're doing, but I want to know not about, backwards integration, about replacing web dev or being more independent. We all get that value. But what about being more forward centric, customization of emails? We can do a lot better than that. Give me a story, give us a story of how we should all be thinking a little bit like blow my mind before we're going to do avatar emails, or is that what we're doing?
I
That's not what.
don't, look, I'm actually, for somebody who's very into AI, I'm actually very anti a lot of these things that I feel like at this stage, I'm sure we'll reach the point, but a lot of those are kind of like party tricks, right? And they're cool to pull out, and maybe they make the people that do it feel really good about themselves. But I don't. Let me take like as an example. What I mean, I can ask your guys' perspective on this too. Like, if you could only choose one channel to go to market with right now, one channel, what would it be?
I got it.
You got it. I want to hear yours first, Jake. Go for it.
Email.
Email. You're gonna say email?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's yours, Howard?
I was gonna say either LinkedIn outreach or email, depending on persona, but everything has so
Great.
many factors. It's only two outreach
Exactly.
channels.
But it's just like it works, right? It's old school and it's like text based mostly, besides those like crappy little gifts that we like all hate when you get an email. Like there's something about it, like that's what works. And I think reinventing the wheel and coming up with like something fancy and flashy just because you can do it doesn't need to happen, right? Like a good example of like where I tried, we do a very very well received annual report that we run. Like it's very bespoke data. We compare the top 20 logistics companies in the world that we pull together into this report. And this year I was like, okay, I'm going to make this even fancier using AI, and I'll let companies generate their own version of the report. So on top of the report, I ran 5 or 6 interviews, and I took the transcription of those interviews, and we included a bunch of data points that didn't make it into the final report, and we created a landing page. I built a landing page with Cursor where somebody could say, hey, I'm an enterprise org or an SMB org, and I'm interested in X, Y, or Z, and I'm looking for anecdotes or data or whatever it is. And you choose it, and it uses a whole corpus of information to generate a custom report. And it was a lot of fun. And when I spoke at conferences, I was able to talk about these cool things that we're doing with content
Hmm.
and AI. And maybe we had 13 people that used it. But you're talking about like thousands of people that read the actual report and 13 people that
Yeah.
use this like AI interface
Yeah.
because no one wants that. You just want to like read the information and
Yeah.
you know how email works. And like I think that like the idea of just creating avatars, creating these like fancy videos and stuff, it's a party trick. It's a
Okay.
party trick, and I don't
Okay.
feel like I need to run
Well,
there.
is it a party trick or is it just it gives you the ability to scale? So there's certain things you do in marketing and you have the ability to send out the thousands of emails based on CRM data. It all depends on who you're going after. But I think with Freightos, you have a unique data set. Even the LinkedIn outreach is been automated. It's been automated for many, many years already. So it, there's companies that are smaller that can use that and really show growth. And the companies that already have a maturity and they maybe don't need it, maybe there's a specific enterprise play that you want to say, hey, I don't want my top 150 prospects
Hmm.
in the world to get automated outreach. I think there are other GTM motions and plays
Yeah.
that serve that better. So there's a space for those. You're just calling them party tricks, but I think there's a space for the tricks, and you might be a small company and you need to scale. And you need to scale really fast, and those tricks bring people in. And there's certain plays that you kind of say, okay, I don't need that trick. That's what I was saying about. I think there's a strategic
I,
component to that
I'll
thought.
agree. I'll agree with that. I just think that if you assume like a normal distribution of effectiveness of different tactics, I think that those those like avatars or cool little tricks, I think the chance are that Jake it's like said one idea and I just keep on like
Keep on going.
laying into it and be like, Jake, you moron. Uh,
You idiot!
it's like, how could you? But like you're talking about like a 1% of the
Yeah.
use cases where people actually use it will be successful,
I want to
right?
say
And that
I
doesn't
want to
mean
say
that they're
two
not
words that
all
are going to blow
successful,
up
but it's just going to be an
marketing.
edge case, I think.
Yeah, I want to. So maybe it's a trick pony. Maybe I want to say, just here's something that is. It depends on the season, but we're going into it right now. Two words that are going to blow anything AI out of the water: trade show.
Mhm.
That's we all know that that's where if you want to do enterprise deals, that's where it happens. So like, just let's be real. Okay, so that's just like
How
we
many
have.
people are at inbound HubSpot's inbound event right now?
Right now. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. So I want to
thousands,
do something. I
thousands
want
and
to change.
thousands.
I want to change gears here because now we're talking about. We can talk. I want to take all this fun stuff, and I know, Ethan, you do a lot of code stuff, and you said the word cursor several times. And like writing notes on my fax machine, fax myself. What is cursor? I'm kidding. Um, I just got the facsimile in, but you also do fun stuff with this, like for as your other role as a parent, right? As a dad, you do some fun stuff, like as a so you've made some fun AI based books and such. So tell us some fun stories that we should be doing with the technology, not just in the work
So
environment.
yeah, I think my case here, and the reason I even like share those things on LinkedIn in the first case is that it's hard. AI is like new and it's emerging, and the only way to actually understand how to play around with it is just to use it everywhere and throw a lot of different things at it. So, for example, I use voice mode all the time. When I'm in a car for 45 minutes, I'll just spend 40 minutes just talking to ChatGPT and using it to articulate memos or come up with plans or journal. But that all started because I first used it to customize stories for my children when we were in the car instead of listening to the inane podcast that they listen to. I have, predefined memory of who my kids are and what they like and what types of authors they like. And we'll jump in the car and we'll do an interactive story where it stops every 3 minutes and asks them to like choose their own adventure, but all the characters are my kids. Right. And
Mhm.
it's like an example, or when they're learning a new subject, like learning history, ask them using ChatGPT to interview somebody from the 1970s or from the 17th century about whatever it is that they're talking about. So I think that there's a lot of places where you can play kind of like use
That's
AI in
really
your day to
fun.
day, and that inspires like new ideas. But I do want to touch on one thing, which is you talked about inbound. I am so bullish on in person and so bullish on authentic. I think if there's one thing that I would say, even from a regular like video consumption online, authentic videos, authentic interviews, stuff like this, where you know that you're talking to a
Yeah.
real human, the authentic in-person events, because there are so many marketers that are giving, right, whatever the phrase is, 95% of marketers are giving the rest of us a bad name. It's so easy right now to generate content at scale that
Yeah,
there's so much crap out there. And just like being there in person with somebody and talking to somebody and shaking their hand and grabbing a beer with them or
Yeah.
doing that virtually, I think there's so much room. There's so much road to
yeah.
travel there still.
I think that also ties into like we talked in the beginning of the conversation, the domain expertise and like how do you know, when you're going to an event, you can really show the person that you know what you're talking about, whether you when doesn't have to not necessarily the marketer, but the BDR or the account executive or sales leadership or even product. When you're there in person, that authenticity is really built. Right now, I think there's a component where people are questioning what they see online, even if it looks like this podcast.
Yeah.
Right? I've experimented with creating a podcast where like through AI, it didn't work that well, but that in person, that authenticity is really going to resonate with people, I think, as well. Like,
So is there a secret weapon that you think is from the old shelf? I mean, is there something that you think, oh, tried and true? We talked about trade show, we talked about email, how we're put in LinkedIn. Is there something that you think is probably the underutilized media or a move like people used to direct mail, people used to, gifting. Like there could be a lot of these things that we did that were on vogue, but now no one talks about that now. Are you finding success in a corner that we've all forgotten about?
I think I think establishing domain credibility and then scaling that up. I think that's something where a lot of people struggle. It's hard for a lazy marketer to do this, but to really immerse yourself, I found that narrowing down your segment or your vertical or your target audience to the thinnest possible slice. So for freight, for example, for me, it would be I can't know more about freight and all B2B people suffer from this. You're never going to know more about your target audience than they already know, right? If I'm
Mhm.
selling to somebody who's been in logistics for 30 years, I don't
Mhm.
have a hope of ever coming up to speed with them, but I can narrow the vertical down to say, I'm going to learn more about digital freight sales for air and ocean cargo. And I can go really deep there. And I can reach out to 25 people and I could have deep conversations with them where I just listen and I learn more about that vertical. I can build up the credibility. I can steal. I can use their credibility and say, hey, I was talking to X just yesterday and he said, whatever, what do you think? And you start to build yourself into an actual domain expert. And then you figure out, how do you manifest that externally? Is it webinars? Is it short little podcasts? Is it LinkedIn posts that you're doing? And it's just going out to an event and shaking hands and talking to things. And that is, there's no hack, there's no shortcut, but in order for people to listen, you need to know what are they going to listen to, and that
Beautiful.
means you just need to build it up. And
Can I,
it's elbow grease.
what are the ABC steps? Because people are afraid to take those steps. What are the steps to start building some insights and domain expertise?
Can I,
Well, it
can I
used to
curse
be
on this?
SEO, right? Yeah, you can curse. Everyone asks about the
Yeah, it's
cursing.
get
Go
on the
ahead.
fucking phone. Honestly, it's just get on the fucking phone. Like the amount the it is so easy to go on LinkedIn and reach out to anybody. You go after a junior person and you say, "Hey, it looks like you're doing really cool things. Do you mind getting on a call with me for 20 minutes?"
Mhm.
And I've spoken to the head of supply chain at IKEA following that playbook. Like, you can reach out to anybody.
Mhm.
Just don't be embarrassed. Reach out to them. Say like, "Hey, by the way, I'm a marketer. I swear I won't market to you. Can you talk to me for 20 minutes?"
Mhm.
And it'll take you 20 times, but you'll get one conversation, and do that 15 times, and you will know more about your domain than 90% of the marketers in your space, but nobody does it. And it drives me bonkers.
Yeah, and it really leverages the idea that people want to be helpful. If you offer someone the opportunity to help you,
Yes.
then they want to do it.
And they
It's
want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about their roles. They want to feel the guy who does like tender procurement at a multinational German, whatever, ball bearings company wants to talk about it for someone because no one else will talk to him about it. Like, let him talk.
Not his wife. His
he
wife
probably
doesn't
loves
care
it.
anymore.
He probably loves it, right? There's certain
Das,
niches
das
in
balls.
B2.
Yeah, das ball bearing. Yeah.
There's probably certain businesses where I don't like that, the person who's doing it has to be really passionate about doing it. It's not like something that's something that's really deep. And so if
Yeah,
you
but they're gonna
allow
care.
that,
They're gonna care about, like, when you hear how animated they are about like shaving a millimeter off of their ball bearings or whatever it is. Like,
Ooh.
it's these stupid things, but you need to get those anecdotes. You need to talk to people like
you know,
online.
Yeah,
it's like it's
please
like that.
don't
We
say that
like to
word ball
talk about
bearing again. I
marketing.
get very queasy. Don't say ball bearing. Okay. I don't know where you're going with this, but this is a family show. Okay, we got to go. We're in the final round. Howard, last question, then I got a barn burner to
No, no,
set.
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. I know we're a little time
Li-
crunch right now. Go
Listen,
ahead.
Eitan, let's be real. We're not going to come into the freight zone, and we really just we're not going to create those AI things for our kids. But what we do want to know is where we can take yours and then beep out your kid's name and put our kid's name in. So where can we get all the resources, your content library of what you created for your kids, and how can we make that available as lazy parents for our own kids, pretending we love them too?
He wants your
I
playbook.
I push it all out into the ether at buckman.co.il. It would be great to have one reader. Uh, like,
Thanks,
so yeah, you
Mom.
can find it right there.
Thanks, Mom.
That's
That is
cool.
super fun. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. And thank you for sharing so openly and candidly about all the things freight, AI, and family. That was a lot of fun.
We can
It's a
probably talk
pleasure.
about
Thanks for
so
having me,
many
guys.
parts of marketing as well. We can
Amazing.
always
Guys,
always
thanks.
do
This is a
part
lot of
two.
fun.
Thanks
All
very
right.
much.
Thank
Have a
you. Thank
great
you for
day.
joining us. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.